Hello everyone, welcome back to the Beginner's Guide to Jungle / Assassins. This is going to be the Clash episode, and I chose this particular match type and this particular assassin for very specific reasons. Now in the previous episode I was able to discuss pretty thoroughly the early game of the differences between the assassin and the warrior in Conquest. Well, the late game for assassins, for both the late game for jungle is the same regardless of whether or not you're a warrior or an assassin. You're looking for the individuals who are by themselves, or you're looking to target the squishier people and eliminate them. It's the same objective for both. The only real difference between the two is what you can get away with, really, which is why I've chosen Raven here, who used to be a warrior. They made him into an assassin. They changed his base stats, but they didn't change his abilities. So I am going to be using him for this episode to better demonstrate some of the things that I would have talked about in the late game of the previous episode, but never really got a chance to. Just so that way there's a better illustration of what you're looking for in a team fight, because Clash and late game Conquest is extremely similar. The early game is going to be a little different, because obviously one of the problems with Clash is that you don't have the jungle to farm with, and there is no ganking, but that's not really what we're concerned about in this episode anyways. So, at the very start, I will be talking more about farming with assassins in Clash, which is a little bit more difficult, and the reason why it's more difficult is because most assassins are melee, well, all assassins are technically melee. Not all assassins have a ranged ability with which they can hit the whole wave, and they actually have to be at the wave to clear it and get that experience, but a lot of them aren't as tough as warriors are, so they're very vulnerable to poke, and that can leave them wide open for a devastating blow of death. It's happened. I don't know why I keep forgetting to put something in here for him, but anyways, it can be very difficult to get an assassin to survive while trying to farm with them in this mode. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go right towards Transcendence here, because we want to start working on that early. We're going to get probably Aegis, I think. We have our kickflip. It's actually officially called overhead kick, but I call it the kickflip anyways. So we have that for CC immunity if we really need it. I'm gonna put this down. Oh, my mouse isn't set up. Here we go. There we go. Alright. So Raven will be able to farm at least somewhat on the minion line, because he's actually a little bit more durable than your average assassin. They're going to go right for Achilles, which is fine. We goofed it. Okay. Yeah, see, that's exactly what happens if you're too aggressive early on with an assassin. That is pretty textbook there. I did get way too aggressive there. I wanted the Zeus. My teammates weren't quite as behind me as I thought they were. That's my fault. I should have waited until the support went in. But that is exactly the kind of thing that can happen. You'll notice I went from almost full health to almost no health in a very short amount of time. And that doesn't really happen in Conquest, because everyone only has one, maybe two abilities in the early game, so they really don't have that much of an opportunity to really CC chain you or hit you with a whole bunch of damaging abilities. But in the early game of Clash, that's a totally different story. There's so many abilities already prepped and ready to go in the early game that being forward like that is very dangerous indeed. Zeus is just waiting for me to come forward so he can try to poke me, but I have really no choice but to at least do something here with this. I'm surprised he didn't try to chain lightning me. We actually have an opportunity over here. Notice that Gilgamesh is alone. If I'd been paying a little bit more attention to the left side, I probably could have gotten something more out of that. I really need my ultimate so I could actually leap in on him. I'm looking for... Oh, here we go. He just used his jump. He's now vulnerable. And there we go. No, we didn't get the kill, but that doesn't matter. We did participate enough. Oh, he got out. That was odd. Okay. Times that. I don't want to go in there. Okay. Yeah. That was very unfortunate. I timed my kickflip wrong. I'm not overly concerned. We can catch up in the late game, especially once we get Transcendence going. My next item will probably be something along the lines of Hide of the Urchin to get some protections up. Most assassins should build some form of protection in Clash, at least something. Just for survival reasons, as you can clearly see here. Assassins usually have a problem in the early game. Every once in a while, you'll have a really good game as an assassin in Clash where your early game is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, the enemy team composition is highly aggressive, and I really don't have a whole lot of options in that particular regard. We're just going to go ahead and patiently wait this out, farm this up a little bit, get the assist cred here. That's beautiful. No, we already have a ward there, so I'm going to put mine over here. That was interesting. He should have hit me with that, honestly. Wouldn't have made a huge difference. I had my kickflip. I'm sure Gilgamesh would have jumped in on me, used his ult. I would have kickflipped out of it. It would have been fine. Good awareness on the on-her there. We're just trying to save up for Transcendence at this point. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go with abilities or auto attacks. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to build Raven here. I'm kind of leaning towards auto attacks, actually, but that's going to depend partially on what Gilgamesh winds up building. That's why I'm actually going for Hide of the Urchin next, is because I want to stall my decision on that as long as possible. Interesting. That's... We actually might have an opportunity here really quick. No. No, we do not. I gotta at least clear this wave. Zeus here, not gonna be able to do enough damage at this point to kill me. She's probably gonna ult me. No, she did not. I was expecting the ult. Now we're gonna start working on Hide of the Urchin pretty soon. Or I might go Soul Eater next, actually, would probably be a really good idea at this point. But I'm not 100% sure I want to go with Penetration or if I want to go with Void Shield and Protection Reduction. It's going to be a very interesting question there. Alright. So, it looks like we've got a fight here, but is this something we want to get in on? Yeah, I think so. Alright, unfortunately, we really weren't able to lock down anything concrete, but at least we won the fight. Now I just need to farm without honor sealing off my farm. That's not happening. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna assume Honor's gonna take all of those, so we're just gonna go for the camp here. Put a ward here. Good job, Agni. Excellent. Alright, now we have our 10-hand Shadow Fistful, which is our self-heal, which is important. Oh, alright. He's gonna dash. Yep. Did he just jump towards tower? He did. Okay, I was trying to figure out if he had jumped towards tower or blue. Let's see if we have an opportunity on Zeus here.
Their rampage won't cease.
Alright. Nope. I'm gonna go over to the left lane because this isn't a fight we want under tower. So we're gonna come over here and try and grab as much stacks as possible. There we go. 16 stacks, not bad. Looks like Gilgamesh is a little out of his level here. That was a complete whiff, but for some reason I got Gilgamesh killed. I activated that a little early, and I also didn't need to because he backed off.
They lack the will to see this through.
Alright, she's been scared off. I think we can get Sobek here. Or actually, we can get Zeus.
An enemy has been slain.
We are now going to head back over here, grab that farm, because I don't want to really go in on Nox right now. She's got a whole lot of abilities that will prevent us from actually locking her down consistently, so we don't want that.
On my way.
Okay, we've got that in there.
Enemy missing.
It's not a good...
Be careful, left.
Yeah, if I go for that, I'm gonna get whacked. So we're gonna go ahead and fall back on this. Windwilder's waiting for me right there. We're gonna actually go back. We're gonna see if we can grab Soul Eater. I think we can. Yes. Alright, grab that, and I want Blink. Okay. So far, we're doing okay on the stacks. Maybe I won't necessarily go hide of the Urchin. What is Gilgamesh building towards? Kind of looks like abilities, but it's a little early to tell. Good amount of stacks. We've got some people up over here. I see her there.
If only they accepted us, we could have saved them.
Goodbye.
I needed that healing, Agni. Okay.
We must fight for survival.
Well, that was
Do
exciting.
not give up.
Press out the trench to heal. I am doomed.
Okay, he fell back, so we're actually going to go in here and grab this buff here.
One less opponent that can stop us.
But I was able to pick up the cooler. That was really nice. But I saw the opportunity. I knew they weren't really going to do anything about it. I was reasonably confident Nox didn't have any of her abilities up. I believe she used her silence. I'm not sure if her root was up. Alright. You have now Gilgamesh. I need to see your build. Okay, we've got Runic Shield. It does seem like he's leaning towards the ability idea there.
I'm building stacks.
Same fam. I've been building stacks. I'm almost done with them. What? Yep. Oop.
Such
Waiting for another opportunity at this point.
wasted.
Why is Gib in there?
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Alright. Oh, hi, Sobek. How you doing?
An enemy has been slain.
Well played, well played.
Double kill.
Got some damage in there, though.
Exceptional.
It's very tough to tell. Okay, we're gonna temporarily go for, I don't know, we can build the whole thing. So we'll go hide the Urchin for now. And then we'll, no, we've already
Sacrificed
locked
their whole
in,
self for us.
we've already locked in Soul Eaters. So I'm kind of then, I think I'll just go for, I'll still probably want, hide the Urchin. We'll go Berserker's Shield, and then, do I really need Berserker's Shield, though? I have 10% here. I could go Heartseeker, but they're not really that tanky overall as a team. They've only got 2 tanks, and Gilgamesh is building hybrids, so that's not really a huge concern there. Alright, we'll have to see how I ultimately feel like building. I'm not leaning towards Heartseeker quite right now.
Enemy missing.
Berserker's Shield may be fine, but
Enemy incoming.
I might also get Ansleep for the cooldowns and a little bit of extra magic protection as well. In 5 seconds I'll be able to kill Zeus. Oh, you're here.
Enemy spotted.
Alright.
Enemies behind us.
Yeah. They're gonna... no, I'm not gonna be able to get him. I'm trying to see where my opportunities are. Ah, there's one. Let's see where Max... There she is.
One less opponent that can stop us.
Enemies behind us.
I'm not gonna make it. Nope. She survived just barely. Look at how little health she had. I almost killed Uller by accident, too.
We will
Ah, well.
remember.
I need to build up my stacks and my Hide of the Urchin before I can do stuff like that. Let me see. If I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be Pestilence. So what I'm going to go for is, yeah, I think I'm going to go for Ansley for a little bit of cooldowns.
Such potential
A little bit
wasted.
more magic protections. Is that going to be too much? No, we should be okay with that. That should be fine. And then I'll want something more heavily damaging. I might actually go for Heartseeker. No, we don't need to surrender this. We're gonna be okay. We're not that far behind. We've only lost. Now we tower swapped. It's fine. All right. Obviously, no opportunities right now. They'll take a whole bunch of damage for no reason. And here comes Sobek. Alright, and Andra's just dead.
An ally has been slain.
I'm not a support. Almost had an opportunity on Zeus there. I gotta go back. I could get Jotun's Wrath or the Crusher as well. I'm kind of leaning towards the Crusher right now. They do have squishier people. This is a kill on Zeus.
Threat eliminated.
Told you.
Their rampage won't cease. Your skills are marvelous.
See, now we're reaching where we need to be. Now we're hitting where we need to be. Nope. Oh, barely got me. Good job, good job. Ansley. Yes, we're good with Ansley.
Power terminated.
That will work out quite nicely. And then
Attack left tower.
he went with Talisman of Energy. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm still gonna go for the Crusher though. I think that's still my best option at this juncture.
We need wards.
Alright, so. Yeah, we're so far looking pretty good in terms of our stats so far. We're going to be able to start hitting people really hard. Excellent. Alright, they're doing a nice job on Sobek right now. I'm going to come over here to the left and clear out some minion waves. She goofs this, she goofs this. But not enough where I would be comfortable going in on that.
My apologies. Ultimate is ready.
That should be a kill on him. They should get him.
One
Yep.
less opponent that can stop
Where's
us.
Uller? There's Uller.
Enemy is behind us.
Okay.
Elimination.
You made a mistake.
Only 101.
You shouldn't have stayed up so long.
1001. Enemies left to go.
Yeah, I'm not liking this fight. Alright. And then
Attack
we're
middle
going to
lane.
go... Yeah, I guess it's fine. Good. She tried.
Bravo.
She tried. We're gonna go back and finish the Crusher. Because we really don't have any kind of good opportunities right now to kill anyone. The Crusher will be hugely important. And then I might go with Bluestone. Sorry, I might go with the Brooch or the Corrupted. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm kind of leaning towards the Corrupted because that'll give me just an overall benefit there across the board. But then... that's an interesting question. That's an opportunity on Zeus there. Alright, did not react fast enough for that.
An enemy has been slain.
That's fine. want to fight? That's fine. You're by yourself. And then we have Uller back here, so that's actually a kill on Uller probably. He's going to try to jump over us, or away from us. That's fine. Okay, what is that? Excuse me? Alright, that's interesting. Go ahead and clear this out. Create a distraction.
Double kill.
See if we can lure away anyone.
Triple kill.
No, we cannot.
Their rampage
Oh, hello.
cease.
Not enough damage, not enough damage. So close. Alright. Yeah, we actually probably can wipe this. We're looking to go get Zeus, though.
You have slain an enemy.
That's not worth it. She's too close to the fountain. Oh. Did I get hit by that? No. Okay. There we go. Now, that wasn't a great game. It was a good game for me, but it does exemplify all of the pros and cons of Assassin and Clash, as well as talking about how you should be approaching team fights, looking for those opportunities, things of that nature. Now, I didn't actually explain this at the time because I was busy focusing, and if I had died at some point at the end there, I would have been able to go into more detail. But at the end, when I said I was trying to create a distraction by pushing up the wave, I was hoping... I did mention that I was hoping to lure one of them away to try to deal with the situation, which I would have been able to win that fight. Unfortunately, I really didn't... It was so late in the game that it didn't really matter, but that is something that can sometimes work even in Conquest. Pushing a wave down... Oops, sorry, that was just me punching my mic. Pushing a wave down in a lane to try to create an opportunity. Now, keep in mind, and I've seen a lot of people try to create this distraction badly, don't create a distraction when your allies aren't doing something, right? There are only two situations in which a distraction should be created. When your allies are trying to go for an objective, Cold Fury, Fire Giant, whatever. Or alternatively, when some of the enemy team is fighting, but not all of them, right? Now, be very careful with distractions as a jungler, because you are there primarily to eliminate the enemy damage, so your primary goal should not be to create distractions. That's not primarily what you're there for. You are fast, you hit hard, kill the enemy's squishier people, right? That is how that's supposed to work. You should only really be trying to create a distraction if, and only if, you can't make it to the fight in time to make a difference. That mostly applies to Conquest. In that Clash game, there was no clean opening there. At that time, the Phoenix was up. Our tanks were not as healthy as maybe I would have been comfortable with going in at that time. I think either Geb, one of them was in good condition, the other one was not. I think it was Geb that was in good condition, but I could be wrong. But definitely, I wasn't comfortable about the idea of going in at that time, so I was trying to lure somebody over to the left lane to try to prevent me from taking the Phoenix, the left Phoenix, because that way I could, again, force a 1v1, which I would probably have won. Right? So that was really my goal there. In Conquest, you only really try to create a distraction if not 100% of the enemy team is involved in the team fight with your team, and you can't get to the team fight in time. If you think the team fight will be over by the time you get there, instead try to push down a lane to see if you can lure whatever enemies aren't in that team fight away from the team fight, which gives your allies a better chance of winning that fight. However, again, I must emphasize this. Be very careful with this. Alright? It's really only something you do if you are 100% sure you're not getting to that team fight in time. But that is what I was trying to do there at the end. It didn't work, and I'm glad it didn't, because that does show you what really can happen if it doesn't work. Basically, you have no impact on that fight, which is a risk you take. And at that time, I was just... If more of my allies had died, then it wouldn't have been worth trying to create a distraction, because at that point the enemy team was just going to try to hunt down the allies anyways, most of the time. Anyways, there are a lot of kill-hungry players that play this game, so it's actually once they have a numerical advantage, it's very rare for a distraction to work. Okay? So, with that being said, I hope you learned something here about team fighting with assassins. I'll be covering this subject in more detail in Arena, which will be the next episode. So that way we can get a really clear idea of team fighting very specifically outside of the context of Clash. So, even though there are some similarities there, but nevertheless, that's what you can look forward to next time. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. Thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.